Secretary of Pennsylvania for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the witnesses for their time. Secretary Sherman, thank you for being here. Just curious, do you drive to work?
Do I drive to work?
Sure.
I am fortunate as Deputy Secretary to actually have a driver.
Okay, all right. I don't know how that goes, but I'm just wondering if you're aware of gasoline prices at the pump right now. You know what the average is today?
Of course I am, and the President addressed that last night in his remarks and in the release of strategic.
Right, but are you aware?
Yes.
I know he's aware, but are you aware?
Of course I am. I have my own personal car
Okay, so
as well. Sure.
you know that the current price is about $3.60, the average of a gallon today. Do you know what it was at the end of 2020?
I don't, but I am well aware that there.
So it was about
$2.17.
$2.17. It was about $2.07. So that's about roughly a $1.50 increase per gallon since then. And of course, it increased that much prior to Russia going into Ukraine, right? I mean, you probably realize that too, since you do some driving, right?
Yes.
It went there, right? So right now, in this period of time, we are importing and paying for about $65 million a day, $65 million a day for fuel from Russia, right? But that's and that's a huge increase. That's essentially about a $64 million increase from 2020, right? Does that make sense to you? I don't want to. I know math can get.
Your point. I understand.
Okay, so do you just you've got a long and storied career. You're involved in high-level things, and I don't mean to demean any of that because we're all busy, right? And so some of these finer things, but they're not finer things to average citizens who are struggling to get by every day. How is it in the best interest of the United States, both from a strategic standpoint, from a national security standpoint, while we're going to ask America right now to sacrifice and send munitions, arms, help in any way or form necessary to Ukraine, to also be paying for the war machine that is prevailing on Ukraine right now by way of buying Russian oil?
As I said earlier in the hearing, Congressman, Jen Psaki, the spokesperson for the United States and the White House, said this morning that all options are on the table, and when the President was asked by the press this morning in passing, he said also all options are on the table when he was asked about this.
Okay, but this goes beyond Ukraine, you understand, because on the first day of the administration, shut off the Keystone Pipeline, and shortly thereafter, drilling in Anwar, drilling on federal lands, the continental shelf, permitting of LNG, that all happened prior to the invasion of Ukraine. Right, and so when we're talking about that $1.50 increase in gas, that's at every single gallon that every person's got to pay if they want to get to work, that happened long before the invasion of Ukraine. Does that mean there's going to be a complete turnaround in the energy policy and understanding of the real world as it exists today? Like Russia and Ukraine and Germany aren't fighting over windmills and solar panels right now. This is another deal. Is that an acknowledgement that the administration is going to reverse course completely on this war on American energy?
Congressman, the President of the United States was very clear last night that he understands the concern that average Americans have. His own family was one of very modest means, and he understood this need.
I sure hope so, but
energy security is a commitment by the President of the United States. There is no doubt, however, Congressman, you'll have to permit me to say that we have a climate crisis that
Secretary,
we all are aware of.
If you do, and I don't want to interrupt you, but the words are hollow if they're not followed by the actions. The words are hollow. If I can just move on. I'm just wondering if stealing technical information on the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, the F-22 Raptor, or the V-22 Osprey, if you see those as criminal acts, if stealing technical information is a criminal act.
I would defer to Ms. Kress and to my DOD.
Now, I'm just asking you if stealing information of the United States is a criminal act.
Of course, stealing.
Okay, I agree with you.
I'm
of
not
course
a lawyer.
it is.
Of course it is.
How about the concentration camps where 3 million Uyghurs are now housed? Would that seem criminal to you? It does to me. I'm just telling you, it does to me. But I'm asking you.
Congressman, this administration has said that the treatment of Uyghurs is a genocide.
Great. Okay, so it's a criminal act, right? How about the illegal harvesting of organs by the Falun Gong?